Hello there. The opposition, the press and some Tory MPs with axes to grind thought they had Boris on the ropes over his cuts to the foreign aid budget. But the Parliament rulebook saved the Prime Minister from an embarrassing defeat. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. The Boris Johnson Tory government cut the foreign aid budget from 0.7% of gross national income down to 0.5% of GNI, a reduction of about £4 billion, all to try and stem the ever-rising tide of national debt. But there are so many people in Parliament who would rather see UK taxpayer money flowing into foreign pockets and get us to pay the interest on the increased debt to boot. Many of them quoting the importance of soft power, while usually being of the type to berate the UK for colonialist tendencies. And there were thought to be a sufficient number of them to possibly defeat the government. And they queued up in the House of Commons to back a legislative amendment that would force Boris to stick to the 0.7% of GNI target, an embarrassment as heavy as a Remain Parliament forcing him to send that Brexit extension letter after he promised never to do so. But the Foreign Aid Amendment was tacked at the end of the Advanced Research and Invention Agency Bill, which is about setting up a unit to take risks in researching and inventing for potentially high rewards. And because of that, the Speaker of the House of Commons, Lindsay Hoyle, ruled that the amendment was out of the scope of the bill, so it cannot be debated or voted on, and he rejected it. And that procedural rule from the Parliamentary Rulebook Erskine May has potentially saved Boris from an embarrassing Commons defeat. But more importantly, it has saved the taxpayer a slice of dosh, or at least diverted it for use at home. But I will ask, do you think the previous Speaker, the not Lord John Bercow, would have allowed that amendment? I reckon yes. And then there's the fact that the UK is already a big donor, and many of our friends and partners are nowhere near as generous, something I covered in a previous video. Anyway, this comes after the media put out reams of coverage over the last couple of days on charities etc. that will not get the money they need to fund their activities abroad, no doubt hoping for a Boris defeat. But when looking at the amount that some of these charity bosses get paid, I also wonder how many of the MPs, especially the rebels on the Tory benches, are eyeing up potential lucrative second jobs connected with charities and who would have liked to have looked good for that part by voting against nasty Boris on this. Not that politicians are ever self-serving, of course. Now, Speaker Hoyle did say that the foreign aid budget cut was a serious issue and deserved to be debated. But I would point out that the foreign aid legislation has a procedure for this that the government appears to be following. Boris has been saved by the parliamentary bell. So what's your opinion? To cut or not to cut? Please like and comment below.